G'day everyone, it's Justin and Scott, two dads again from BRRRRRM, Australia. Now Scott, I've brought something down from Hyundai today.
Yep.
And Hyundai is probably a manufacturer that most people in Australia think of just being sort of everyday cars.
Yep.
Probably
Mass
very,
selling,
yeah, good value for money cars and things like that. Not many people might be aware that they do actually make sort of a bit of a sports coupe.
Yep.
This car is the Hyundai Veloster, and it's been in Australia, I think, since about 2012.
Yep.
It's just had a refresh last year. This is the Series II model, and it comes with a few new features that the car probably didn't have before. It's now got a 7-speed dual clutch transmission in their models, which is a first for Hyundai. It's an in-house dual clutch transmission, so it's not something they've actually taken from another manufacturer or something, which is interesting.
Yep.
And this model here is the top of the range one. This is the Veloster SR Turbo. It's got about 150 kilowatts. It's it's pretty well equipped. It's probably around about the $33,000 mark.
Yep.
And I think, as we were discussing earlier, that sort of market segment in the 30s, it's very competitive, isn't it?
Oh, I think I enjoy reviewing cars in that market segment because it's a real challenge for manufacturers to try and produce something that really stands out for that price.
Yeah.
Apart
from the colour, it stands out.
It certainly does for the colour, but since 2012 when these went on the road, they've stood out to me. I think they're a very brave experiment by Hyundai to do something a bit different. And personally, I love the styling, so I love seeing it on the road. Because it does stand out. But
it's different.
It may not be for everyone, the styling, but I think it's a great experiment by Hyundai. And obviously they've been selling quite a few. There's quite a few on the road since 2012. So
that's true.
One that's worked.
Yeah. And as you say about the styling, I think it's a bit polarising. It's one of those love it or hate it type looks, isn't it? But personally for me, I like it because it's got that sort of late 80s Honda CRX look about it, which is pretty cool.
Which was a fun car.
Yeah. But why don't we take it for a drive? There's a few fun, family-friendly aspects to the car that we can talk about as well, which is interesting. And I think, as we were talking about earlier before we started shooting, family can be a bit of a different thing too. I mean, you've got different stages of family. Yes. Whereas this one, I think, maybe isn't going to appeal to sort of early families, do you reckon?
I think the boot space, just having a quick look at it, is probably not big enough for the big pram you need at that infant stage. And I think the headroom is going to be a bit of a challenge as the kids get older, later primary school. But there's that sort of big niche, 8 years in between or something, where the back seems fairly practical. And as a little runaround car, looks not too bad.
With a good fashionable look about it. Why not? So you keen to go for a drive?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go. All right, mate. You've jumped in the Veloster.
Yep.
What's your first impressions?
Styling and seems to be pretty well equipped is on a good factor. It is a build quality for a $30,000 car, so it does feel a little bit plasticky and very hard surfaces.
Isn't it? A little bit.
It's styled nicely, but you don't get away from the fact that it seems like it's built for the price point.
Fair enough. Okay.
I really like the seats too, so you've got some comfy seats.
They are,
that they really wrap around. They seem to be very supportive, so I like those. Yep.
I think in terms of what you're getting for the money though, like it's for $30,000 odd, you've got heated seats and cooling seats. That's pretty good. You've got a touch screen.
Okay. That's good. And I think you were saying Apple Play as well.
Apple CarPlay.
Apple CarPlay.
Plays that. USB port. Everything's sort of on your steering wheel there as well. The dash instruments are pretty clear.
So feels to me like they've cherry picked from the accessories options pretty smartly. You've got sunroof, you've got some of the electronics, you've got the things you want, you've got electric seat on the driver's side only. So they haven't taken all the options, but they've picked some of the better ones.
I mean, it's even got, if you hit on the map here, it's got traffic events and things that from traffic providers to tell you if there's any delays or anything. I mean, not many cars at that price can supply that, can they?
So that's right. Yep.
That's pretty good.
A smart choice of the accessories list, I would say.
Yeah.
We just started it up. It starts nice and quietly.
Yeah.
You can't even hear it running, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
I think, as we said, it's a turbo 150 kilowatt 1.6, 265 newton meters. So it's okay in terms of the power stakes. I think it's around about the 1300 kilo mark, so it's not a lightweight.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep.
But yeah.
Well, let's stop talking about the kilowatts and let's go try them out.
Try it out, mate. Yeah.
That's good. Let's go. It's a good turning circle.
Yeah.
Visibility is really good. That's the first thing I noticed in the car.
Even out the back?
Side and left and right and forward looks really good. Through the mirror, revision mirror. Yeah, it's a small back window, isn't it, or a very big slant, so it's a little bit less than you'd get in other cars. Does it have a reversing
camera? Yeah, reversing camera standard.
I think you would need it in this.
Yeah.
And, people are getting used to that, and if you've got that small little window at the back.
Yep. From a family-friendly standpoint, mate, it's not too bad. I mean, the great feature I love about it is that it's actually got one door on your side and it's got two doors on my side.
Now, I don't know if I've ever heard of a car that has one door on one side and two doors on the other side.
The Mini
Clubman does that as well?
Mini Clubman did that on the previous model, except that the door for right-hand drive markets was on your side, which was useless.
Yes. Yep. It's actually surprisingly spacious in the back for kids. Because the sort of car sort of rolls out, the body sort of widens out a bit, so there's plenty of space back there. It's just the headroom's a little bit compromised as you get taller and stuff.
Yeah, it's only a four-seater, and that probably from the family-friendly aspect of it might limit it a little bit to some people.
Yep.
The steering's actually adjustable on the car. It's actually got 3 modes. You can change it from a sort of a comfort setting, because it's electric power steering. Comfort, there's a normal setting, which I think it's in normal setting now, and you've got a sport setting, which sort of adds more weight to the steering as well.
Just driving around the city, I think I like the comfort mode of the steering.
Yeah,
It does make it a bit different. I thought the normal was too heavy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like this lighter steering. So where's my sports mode? Because I like my sports mode.
That's probably one thing it really needs, mate. It doesn't have a sports mode.
No.
It doesn't have a sports mode.
My goodness.
I think there's a new Hyundai Elantra that's just come out. The turbo model there has the same sort of dual clutch transmission, and they have put a sport mode in that one. So maybe when they upgrade this, there might be a sports mode.
Okay. Certainly, power feels really good. Actually, it's takes off from low speed really well.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's when you want it around the city.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to get into a gap in the traffic, this car's going to do it pretty well.
Yeah. I have to say that the engine note's probably not all that inspiring, is it?
No. It's whining a little, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's got those huge exhausts at the back, but it's sort of, I think it's bit for looks rather than for substance, isn't it?
Yes. Brakes feel really good. Like, this thing pulls up really easily. So they're well spec'd for the size of the car.
Yeah.
It's another important feature around the city, I think, as family friendly and family safe.
One other thing that Hyundai's done pretty well, I suppose, like if you look at their whole of life program for when you buy the car, 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty in Australia.
Very compelling.
That's pretty good. Mind you, it's not the best in the market at the moment. There is another manufacturer that has a 7-year warranty, but 5-year, I think they were the first ones to bring out a 5-year warranty when everyone else was doing 3 years, things like that, which is really good. So, yeah.
That is really backing up your product.
Yeah.
You put a 5-year warranty out there. I mean, you don't get a 5-year warranty on anything else now, right? No. It's a car. It's you feel pretty safe making an investment of 30 grand in a car that's got 5-year warranty.
Yeah. What do you think of the ride quality?
I was just going to test it over that speed bump. It's okay. Yeah, it's pretty good. The bumps are fairly much taken care of. But I suppose if you want to have a little bit of a sporty car too, you've got to have a little bit that tighter ride feel as well. So I think it's balancing that reasonably well. What did you think of that?
Yeah, it's running 18-inch wheels as well.
Yep.
So, you know, that can, some cars be, you know, pretty detrimental to the way it rides. But the Velosters actually had some, in Australia, some Australian attention done to the suspension. The Hyundai engineers have looked at it and engineered it specifically for the Australian market, the Australian cars, when they come here, which, yeah, it's not bad in the corners, is it?
Yeah, it's good. Yep, under acceleration, it's really good. Yeah, takes.
I'm surprised, actually.
Handles itself very nicely.
Yeah.
We're doing typical city driving around here, lots of roundabouts in the burbs.
Yeah.
And lots of corners and up and down the speeds, and it's handling it quite well.
Yeah.
The investment they've put in refining that handling for Australian conditions has paid off.
Yeah.
Definitely. Too many cars we get that just come from international markets and get plonked on our fairly poor or challenging roads. Just don't meet it, the standard. But this thing is sometimes this thing is doing well. Yeah.
I got to say, this car, like driving it for the whole week, I've got to know it in city driving conditions. I took it out for a bit of a country drive as well. Everything, it's growing on me actually. I don't know. I mean, probably like a lot of people, you know, when you think of Hyundai, you just think of sort of, you know, everyday cars that, you know, just go from point A to point B and don't give you much excitement at all. But you know, it's kind of changed my perspective on the car, on the brand as well, because like you say, the styling is very different to a lot of other cars on the road, which is good. You're getting the value for money aspect of it, and you know what, there's a little bit of sportiness in the car, but
it's got sporty looks, it's got some sporty pedigree underneath, and then it's got an element of practicality, so it's trying to bridge a fair span of boxes to tick.
Yes.
Yeah. So I suppose you're always compromising on all of those, if you're, or most of them, if you're trying to achieve all those things.
Yeah.
But it seems to do them reasonably well.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Okay, mate. You've had a drive of the Veloster.
Yep.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I think firstly, thanks. It's fun to actually drive one because I've seen plenty on the road over the last few years, and it's a good-looking car in my view. And I really applaud Hyundai's bravery for that design features. I think we see the two doors on the other side. It gives this car some practicality. But its styling is certainly around fun. And you know, it's a car that as we drove it more and more, I enjoyed it more and more around the city.
It grows on you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a really well-suited car for the city. You've got good brakes, you've got, you know, plenty of acceleration where you need to get in and out of traffic. So I think they've fitted that well. So it's got a bit of sportiness. It's certainly got a bit of practical nature with the two doors and a fairly deep boot, not huge but big enough. And then you've got this fun sort of styling as well. So there's a lot going for this car.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, I think the styling is a little bit polarising for some people, but I like it. The value for money equation for the car, I think it's pretty good. It's very well equipped for the, you know, for the 30s, but it's a very competitive market. You have to be at that level, don't you?
It doesn't have every option in the book, but I think they've selected really smartly about which options they've put on the car. And they're ones you can really enjoy. And it's a car you could have for 5 years and really enjoy it for 5 years, I think.
I mean, the biggest thing that surprised me though is that, you know, Hyundai, it's not a brand I probably wouldn't have given much thought to because of their sort of everyday sort of cars and thinking, you know, can you get any fun out of a Hyundai? But you know what, they've built a car like this. It's actually like, it's not a sports car. It is sporty though. And it, like I said before, I think it's going to appeal to somebody that, you know, you're looking at maybe a second car for the family or something like that to get around. Why not have a look at one of these? It's actually, you know, a little bit more stylish, but it's still got some practicality to it. It's pretty good.
I think in our search for the family fun car, this ticks some of the boxes and it does a pretty good job, right? So if you wanted to have this and you drove it every day, the family will be comfortable in it if they're primary school, and you're going to have a bit of fun driving it around the city. So for 30k or around that mark,
I reckon do yourself a favour. Like don't untick it off the list of having a look at some cars, because you may be pleasantly surprised. It's actually it's the more you drive it, actually, the more it grows on you. It's not too bad. Now, mate, we always ask that last question, don't we? Like, if you're driving this car, you park it in a car park. Is it the kind of car that you'd actually, the X factor, would you turn around and keep looking at it as you walk off?
I think as you walk off, this is a car that you would actually look back at, yeah, because it's got some really unique styling, and the front grille and the back exhaust really, you know, give it some sort of hot hatch nature to it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Actually, it's different. That's the key thing for me. Like, it's, you know, it's not your bland everyday white sort of hatchback. It's actually, you know, big yellow banana. It's pretty good.
Yeah. The big yellow banana.
Anyway, just want to put out a very, very big thank you to Hyundai Australia for giving us the loan car this week. It's been a fun drive this week. Also want to put out a big thank you to everybody out there. We're accumulating a fair amount of views now, which is really good. And if there's a car that you'd like us to have a look at from a fun, family-friendly standpoint, drop us a line. Put something in the comments of YouTube or something like that, and we'll see what we can do. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you later.
See ya.